Watch out!
The Switch 2 already has a pretty solid lineup. It's worth noting that even with first-party announcements aside, the third-party support has been pretty impressive from a technical standpoint. Cyberpunk runs more in line with its PS5 counterpart rather than the PS4, PS4 Pro, or Xbox equivalents. Hogwarts Legacy is an impressive upgrade from the Switch 1 version and a minor downgrade from the current-gen systems. Same thing with No Man's Sky, and I'm sure there's another example or two we could throw in there if we wanted. All this is with the Switch 2 remaining the only candidate in the lineup to be a portable console. Impressive might be an understatement, but with these successful ports comes more developers eyeing the system for bringing more of their work to a new audience. We have a few particularly exciting ones I want to discuss today, one of which is releasing this year, just in time for the holiday season. First though, let's talk about a game being heavily considered, despite all odds, to continue its success with the port to Switch 2. You may or may not have heard, but Shift Up, the creators of Stellar Blade, are eyeing a Switch port of the aforementioned title. Matter of fact, some reports are saying they've already begun development on it. We know Nintendo is no stranger to inviting these mature games with strong female leads to their systems. We've seen them port Nier Automata, and they've even absorbed the Bayonetta franchise as essentially a Nintendo exclusive IP at this point. Stellar Blade shares quite a bit of DNA from both of those, even if the combat itself is closer to something like Dark Souls. Currently, there's even a crossover DLC where you can dress Eve up in 2B's outfit and hair from Nier Automata. A Nintendo port for Stellar Blade could possibly add even a Bayonetta skin, or maybe even some skins for characters like Peach, Zelda, Samus, or more, similarly to what Nintendo allowed with Bayonetta 2. Regardless, Stellar Blade was apparently a stellar game, and while I fully intend to play it at some point, I would actually prefer now to wait and see if a Switch 2 version is coming, so I can get that instead. I'm just a sucker for the portability the Switch offers. Stellar Blade got positive reviews, and it would feel right at home with its contemporaries that I mentioned earlier on the Nintendo platform, so I'm really hoping Shift Up sees this port through. They've reported that they've been tinkering with their Switch 2 dev kits, and they've expressed interest in the Switch 2 port like I mentioned before. PlayStation has also been extremely sharing with their exclusives lately when it comes to Nintendo. They retain publishing rights, so it's still profitable for them to have Switch 2 versions if they sell well. It's actually worth noting that Stellar Blade did literally just receive a port to PC, so it's no longer a PlayStation exclusive technically anyways. Shift Up even reports that the port has already sold over 1 million copies in less than 48 hours. That's a win if I've ever seen one, and it's one that lends more credence to convincing Switch Up that a Switch 2 port is worth it. Now, Stellar Blade aside, another popular game is being looked at by its creators for porting. You've probably heard of it by now. It's being heralded as the strongest Game of the Year contender for 2025. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Now, as of right now, of course, the port hasn't begun development, at least as far as we know. But the director has made it very clear that he's interested and intrigued at the possibility of bringing the game to a portable system like the Switch 2. Clair Obscur has already received massive critical acclaim both from players and critics. I myself have played it and can attest. Word of mouth spread so strongly for it that it's shot up over 3 million sales within a month of being out. That's very surprising for a completely new IP, especially one made by a core team of only about 30 members. It's historical in its own way, and is a piece of art I'd say is worthy of celebration. With all that, it's safe to say a Switch 2 version would find success, no question. I know I'd love a portable version of it since there's literally so much side and main content to play through. Cherry on top, it's addicting as hell. If you like turn-based or action games, Clair Obscur finds the most satisfying middle ground to blend both that I've ever seen. It's visually stunning, well voice acted, and contains great music and a great story. If not being extremely depressing at the same time, but like, in a good way, the existential way. It borrowed a lot from its inspirations, especially Nier Automata, and crafted something completely new with it. And that's where I think it shines the most. Speaking of inspirations for Clair Obscur, Final Fantasy is another one it borrowed heavily from, and that's another game I want to talk about today because unlike the previous two titles we've been talking about so far in this video, Final Fantasy VII Remake is the one that's already confirmed to being ported to Switch 2, and even has a release schedule of holiday season this year. It'll include DLC, and creators have even promised that the entire trilogy will eventually be brought to the system. 7 Rebirth, and whatever the third game will eventually be called. What's most stunning to me about this port is how, again, it looks more in line with the PS5 counterpart. DLSS is on full display in games like this. It's truly an innovation. All this while running at the fraction of the power the current gen systems run, and again, on a portable system no less. It's insane. I'm actually curious if we'll ever see Final Fantasy XVI come to Switch 2. Supposedly, Square Enix is rumored to already be porting it, but of course, we'll know it when we see it. In general, they're looking to move away from platform exclusives, so it'd make a lot of sense to see more of their titles come to Switch 2 as the years go by. But which game are you hoping or excited to see most for porting on Switch 2? Comment down below if it's one of the ones I mentioned, or maybe something else entirely. Afterwards, check out more of my videos like this one here where I discussed what first-party release Nintendo could be planning for this year's Switch 2 holiday season. Damn, that was a tongue twister. Links are in front of you and in the pinned comment. If you'd like your name featured at the end of all of my videos and want to support me, join my Patreon with the link in front of you or in the description, or you can become a channel member right here on YouTube. I've been johtojonny, and I'll catch you all in the next one.